Davey.
Wait, we are?
Yeah.
Tonight's Quickie brought to you by our friends at Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill, even when your team is about to fall. I don't even know where we are. Just falling behind the goddamn. Just put us in last place. Who cares? Hard reset. Get the draft pick. We're tanking. We're officially a tanking podcast.
Wasn't that ass, Red Sox? Get your Coors Light because here are situations where you should drink a Coors Light. Number one, if you have a pulse. Number two, you're trying to celebrate a good time and just have a good, refreshing beverage. Number three, if your team is down 4-1 and you have the chance to put together a couple base runners and maybe have a rally and you somehow run yourself right into a fucking final out at third base getting tagged out. When you root for a team that has a soon-to-be back-to-back-to-back Cy Young winner with 5 guys in your lineup that are all legit young hitters who might even receive MVP votes, and you somehow can't even sniff the playoffs in a year where 15 teams are in the league and 8 of them are going to make it, those are times to drink Coors Lights. Get your Coors Lights. Make sure they're frosty blue. Drink them.
Celebrate responsibly.
That stuff is what drives me nuts because that is the reason why this Cy Young winner and this little bloop, 2 men on. Let's see how we're going to run ourselves out of this fucking inning. But that is what sucks about this season is like we know we've said this a million times in a row. They have the best team batting average. And we know that like DeGrom's unbelievable on the mound, but like it's the things like running the bases and catching and throwing the ball that have been like part of the huge problem this year, which is the most frustrating thing in the world when you're talking about a professional team.
And 43 double plays.
Oh my God. I mean, at the end of the day, I keep acting like DeGrom means they have good pitching. I mean, they don't. So I got to stop saying that. Like what? At least like a week ago, we had the worst team ERA outside of DeGrom in like sport in franchise history, right? Or maybe even including DeGrom. So, they don't have good pitching, and that's part of the problem too. But the dumb shit, base running and fielding is very frustrating.
And to not know that you have Jimenez that hit the blooper, who's the fastest guy on the team.
Right.
Come on, Dom.
This kind of just comes back to like, I don't even know if you can even put it all. It all goes back to him. I just feel like when the Wilpons are in charge, it's like you can get good players in. It's just the whole culture from PR to the training staff to just like the basic shit on the field, the most basic stuff. Not saying a guy has gastrointestinal, whatever, though I can't say that word, discomfort, anal fissures, all that stuff. It starts there, just basic shit, and then the people that get hired to run those departments, it all starts at the top. Everything's going to get better in a matter of weeks. So that's where it starts. We have to get through this next 2 weeks, hopefully win some games along the way and make some memories.
Clem, we'll be making some memories, I promise you that. Whether it's the kind you want is the question. It's going to be memorable, no doubt. That really hit home today for me in the Quickie when you said how more teams make the Tom struck out. How more teams are going to make the playoffs than miss this year, and we'll be one of the teams that miss. That's like, oh wow,
it's harder to miss the playoffs.
Really not good,
Yeah, it's really
a little update from home from that goddamn pain in my ass that I call my mother, who has been yelling at me for like not having faith. She says to me today, "Yikes, that was bad. Does anyone on this team know how to play?" And then we had a little back and forth about how many teams make the playoffs. I explained it to her, and then she said, "This team really is bad." Like, oh, look who's talking now, huh? Yeah, been trying to tell you this for weeks.
Yeah, you did. You gave her you're like, hey mom, just come and get something for me. Here's the directions there. And then she opens the door and she's like, what is this place? She's like, welcome to Kunsalina, bitch. You didn't even know I was here. You're with me now.
You into Kunsalina, you idiot. That's what 3 straight. The Mets are now 21-27, and
oh god,
I wish the other teams were better so that we could just call it. Like
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone is so mediocre. But you know what? I mean, a couple more here, and you almost look like you're a team that's 10 under. It doesn't matter. You can call it a day right then and there. You know,
Somebody, I don't know if it was in the chat or on Twitter, somebody said earlier, they were like, can you imagine if we had like 100 more games of this to go, 120 more games? Like the Corona season is the one blessing. We got Cohen and we didn't have to live through this entire season, which would have like driven us crazy. Last season was bad though. Last season might have been.
I still feel like I lived the whole season. I don't know how I'm going to go back to 162 because this really felt. I mean, look at me. I look terrible right now. I feel like this felt like at least 100-something games, and it was. This is. I mean, 21 and 27. You still have people going like, the season hasn't even really started yet.
Yeah,
and like it's a they say like it's like presidential years, Barstool Blogger years, like that's a hard 21 and 27. We had Yo opt out and died and then opt out. We had Stroman opt out. Syndergaard fucking had Tommy John. All the Brody stuff that went down. The Tom Seaver stuff.
Worrying about the deal. I mean,
Smith
not getting the playing time. Alonso starting out in a big slump. I mean, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And we have very poor quality seasons here. So, what really sucks is like over the last couple of years, you would almost hear like the Mets and some of their young players coming up are, it's like the White Sox and the Mets and like the Padres and some of these teams that were on the come up that the Mets used to get mentioned in the same breath with some of these guys. And now they're all doing it. And by the way, two like other bad franchises. It's not like we were mentioned along with the Braves and the Red Sox or something. It was like these are three teams that can never put it together, that all have young guys coming that should be able to put it together. Let's watch what happens. And two out of those three shitty franchises are seemingly doing it and doing it in a big way. And we're the assholes who are like, all those players came up and like a lot of them panned out and somehow it still didn't work.
It's unfucking. But you know what?
Think about it. Think about how we did the whole pitcher regime, but as far as calling up hitters and having like homegrown hitters that work, Conforto, Dom Smith, Conforto, Alonso, and McNeil. I mean, like you have four guys in your lineup that are all like your guys, and it's just not working.
It doesn't even make sense on paper because it's like McNeil, they weren't expecting to be the guy. Dom, they were trying to ship out of town. And all these guys click, and it actually worked. And we're still not good.
Right.
It's still not good.
You call up four guys all in the same, couple seasons. And they all worked out in a Dom knew here, but like a seemingly major way. You got like Conforto, who looks like, he's going to be like a $175 billion player. You've got Alonso setting records. You got McNeil threatening to be like a batting champ type of guy. And in the early going here, Dom Smith looks like he might be better than all of them. And they all come up and they all prove it. And we haven't moved forward one single step. We've been like in the exact same spot. It makes no goddamn sense.
It's like we're like running in quicksand, and it's like no matter what, we just can't do anything. It's a remarkable.
Yeah, that's what it is. And the Wilpons are the quicksand. We're running on the treadmill, and the treadmill is the Wilpons, and we're about to be put like we're about to be like in a fucking speedboat whipping now. I mean,
I will say this.
I'm not even giving him any leeway to like ease into it. I'm like, you better go fucking
running, man.
All these guys are young, and they're all getting into their prime right now.
Yeah.
Any 2 or 3 year plan, I need it to be immediate.
I will say this about those two friends, and like you said, like we were definitely like a little before them because we had the pitchers who were already coming up, but like the White Sox and the Padres who were all kind of lumped together, and they're going on their runs now. This is the thing, though, like they're gonna look back in like 5 years and be like, we had like that 2-year window, and then Reinsdorf is gonna do Reinsdorf shit, right? Like we are out of this. I tried to get like a clip. I wanted to meme it, but it really didn't come out well. It's like Craig Robinson in This Is the End when he goes to fight the demon and he like ends up getting like shot to heaven and they just watch him go shot up and he's like, I made it. I'm free. And it's like that's the Mets. And then, like, I was thinking, like, the Knicks and the Islanders are just looking up, like, this motherfucker just escaped.
There's that scene where he's pulling, like, on Jonah Hill or whoever it is, like, trying to pull him back down, Danny McBride.
Yep.
I mean, it's hopefully. And I heard Gary Cohen he's joined the Andy Martino crowd of saying like, well, guys, we don't know what's going to happen. And some people out there are like, making it sound like it's automatic, but we don't know what an owner is going to do until he's there. It's my least favorite take on the internet right now. And it was really only one guy that I knew of until now. And it's fucking Gary Cohen. I hate that take. It's like, just shut up. Yes, we don't know anything anymore.
You think
what?
You think they're getting that talking point from the Wilpons because they still own SNY? If I have to listen to the Wilpons propaganda machine for the next
30,
20, 30, they have the rights until.
I can't wait. First of all, I think that there is that chance, or you're just talking to two guys who seem to be like shills for the Wilpons. But either way, we can't predict everything, and maybe there's a chance that Steve Cohen all of a sudden just behaves completely differently to his entire being. But I'm pretty sure we can take an educated guess on what's going to happen. As far as SNY, is there any doubt in your mind that the Wilpons are botching this once again? Like they're trying to out-negotiate and work Steve Cohen, and it's just not working. There was that quote, I think, in the Post that said the Wilpons underestimated Steve Cohen, and he's making him pay for it. It's like, first of all, how do you underestimate Steve Cohen? Second of all, how do you, as the Wilpons, think you're outfoxing Steve Cohen? Come on, guys, you know exactly what you are. But that take to me is just completely and totally asinine.
You know what it is? It's like when your buddy just lands a girl that's just completely out of his league in all facets of life, and you're like, oh man, she's gonna probably cheat on him, or she's gonna do this. She's gonna go. And then it's like, no, they're happy together. They have 3 kids. They have the best life ever. And when you go, that's what it's going to be. And listen, just like everything else, there's a chance it all blows up. Just like there's a chance she could do any of those things. It doesn't work out. But you know what? I'm looking over at the people in Boston. They seem pretty fucking happy with their girl. And in LA, they're doing all right. In Anaheim, I don't know who Artie Moreno is. I wasn't hearing how Artie Moreno was this fucking ruthless motherfucker that just built it. I don't know how he did it, but that's the thing. Did you see? I saw it. This is where I heard this today. And granted, I'm completely unplugged on baseball the last few years, let alone the last few months. Albert Pujols typing Willie Mays in home runs. No idea. The gas station pump is where I found that in the little TV. That's fucking sad.
Oh, it's so terrible. And he went from he's gonna hit 800 home runs. See you later. He's the new home run champ. To oh, he got injured, and oh, he might be older than he is. He fell off. His contract's so bad. And then that was the rhetoric for so long that now the pendulum's gone back where you're like, wait a minute now. This guy still ended up with 660 fucking home runs. When you're passing Willie Mays, you still deserve some credit. So he's been all over the map. It is weird to watch. Huh?
He's a top 10 player all time.
Yeah, and what it's like
no shine.
Had he just projected to be top 10 the whole time, he would be praised. But because he projected to be number 1 by a mile and didn't live up to that, and granted there was a steep fall off and he's getting paid a lot of money for shitty production. But yeah, I mean he is underappreciated right now career wise, no doubt. He was a fucking monster.
How can you say Pujols is not top 10 all time?
Who said that?
Bogey's lives matter. In what way is he not top 10 all time?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I guess if you want to sit here and write out the list, maybe will he fall? It's not like he's not top 50 or something like that. If you want to tell me he's coming in 11, 12, 15, whatever you want to say. But I mean, he's got some fucking big time numbers that people are not appreciating.
30 home runs away from A-Rod, 39, something like that. I think A-Rod has 6.
I think he'll probably get there because he's already been limping with these kind of shitty numbers. So I think he's just going to keep doing it. Yeah. It's not like he wants to go out on top or something. He's already been just mediocre for a while. So fuck it. He'll just keep compiling. Although he might be 62 for all we know. So maybe he's just got to retire.
I will say a guy it's tough when a guy who, I mean, granted, he's putting up these numbers, but defense means something, and he played first base. You have only the center fielders who could hit; they're going to be at the top, like a Willie Mays and Mike Trout, obviously, right there, and all that kind of shit. But it also goes to show you, baseball has completely ruined their base, which was always the numbers, right? Because no one Willie Mays getting passed was like front page news across the country. I didn't even know about it until I found out on the gas station TV. And the other thing is, like, if they can't make Mike Trout like a fucking star, they can't put Willie Mays. Like, it's crazy. Mike Trout and the fucking guy who just passed Willie Mays in home runs are just like evaporated from the social conscience. So I don't know if it's an Angels thing or what. But yeah, long story short, I'm worried about my ownership not being more Red Sox than Angels. I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be on the Red Sox side of things. I hope.
I just, again, don't know why we're going to assume he would do everything differently. But, and yeah, I mean, it's like maybe it doesn't work. Maybe he goes out and gets like 10 new players and they all flop. That's always possible with the Mets. But to think that Steve Cohen won't, make a real honest effort at like running this thing the right way and probably pull it off is just, I guess we're just going to choose to ignore everything, everything that history is telling us. But okay, maybe it won't happen.
I gotta see, like, I gotta talk to people. Like, I want to know people who know him and be like, how do you think he's gonna approach, like, not only like obviously spending, but like building the franchise, like, because he's not a baseball guy, right? Who is he gonna trust? Does he like talk to people that have been in the industry and is like, hey, how do you build this thing from the inside out? Obviously, he has business sense and he has like that, hedge fund manager sense. My buddy who's read the book, he's halfway through, and I said, is it can a dumb person read? He goes, yeah, I'm reading it. But he says it's fucking awesome. He said the book is awesome. I might have to check that out on like Audible or something. There's no way I can actually read a book in the year 2020.
What was that quote from today? Was it the book where it said, the Mets once invested $91 million in Mike Piazza. Steve Cohen last year for $90 million bought a 3.5 foot tall robot that like cleans his kitchen or some shit.
No, it's a 3.5 rabbit that's made out of stainless steel. It's not even a robot. Robots at least are cool. And that was from the Times. Our boy Colin tweeted that. It was from the Times. So
good. I thought it said robot. Rabbit's even fucking better. Like, I mean, we're talking, another level of wealth and spending, fellas. If you got $1 billion worth of art, literally $1 billion collection, what do you think your live baseball player franchise that, is competitive is going to be? What do you think you're going to want that to look like? He ain't going to be Moneyball over here. I'll promise you that. It'll be, that's what, Steve Cohen, he's Moneyball. There's Moneyball and there's Moneyball. We're playing Moneyball, bro.
There's a shirt, money, comma, ball. Yeah. Fucking put that in Mets font. That fucking works.
Moneyball is the new, we're redefining that fucking name coming up.
Are we able to like copyright that image of the Biggie crown, even though we've like, we've taken, because like Steve Cohen might how much does that cost? I'll be like, Steve, we'll sell you this picture of yourself for $25 million.
And by the way, the crown being plastic,
a $6 crown,
the Biggie in New York crown is $6. It's like a Burger King crown. God. I did read that article today that Emily Ratajkowski wrote, and like everyone on the internet was buzzing. It's exactly what happened to her. A guy printed out her Instagram photos and was selling it for $80,000 a pop, and she had to buy her own fucking picture from him.
Wow,
that's fucked. She also got sued for posting a picture of herself on her Instagram because it was a paparazzi picture. So we might do that to Steve Cohen. We might take a picture of his face, Photoshop another person's look onto it, steal another photo, another crown, another person. We put that on a canvas. We sell it to Steve Cohen.
If we have to figure out, I saw on the rundown, I don't know if it was the rundown or what, I think it was the rundown where you said how like the Lenny Kravitz picture, like we keep getting sued for that because it's the greatest picture ever. We have to figure out a way to like get rights to like a picture that is just like that and
keep the register for life. Yep.
That's like the people that jumped on like Twitter and Instagram early and just stole like it's Straight Out of the League, that old show on FX where I had the rights to the Cowboys and Jerry Jones had to pay him for it.
Yep.
I love it.
Oh God, we got to sell Steve Cohen that picture of himself. I mean, Steve Cohen knows who Biggie is. He appreciates the crown picture.
Come on, you fucking got it.
What do you think we'd get for it? Enough to retire.
Yeah, the thing about him is he'd be like, listen, guys, come on. I'm not going to pay you anything legitimate. Like, let's just do $2.5 million and we'll call it a day.
we will settle so quickly. Yeah, you think the Wilpons can't handle negotiating with Steve Cohen? Like, at least they made millions of dollars in real estate. We'd be like, I'll give you guys tickets to a game against the Marlins in September. Like, sold, unlimited beer, we're in. Speaking of which, I cannot wait till the fucking Cohen corner. I cannot wait for the ballpark. We have to fucking get the countdown clock going once we set those dates up, because we are going to be so deliriously high and happy.
And I mean, you want to talk about like negotiating and prices and stuff. You're gonna get to go to like Steve Cohen's palace with unlimited beer and a ticket to the game now. When that deal was good when we sucked. For like $95, $105, you get a ticket, you get unlimited beer the whole game, a free meal, and you get to watch Steve Cohen's masterpiece team unfold. Barstool the Ballpark already was the best deal in sports. It's going to be the greatest deal in entertainment once we get cooking. You know what? There's actually a chance that Steve Cohen is like, no wonder you guys have been hemorrhaging money. We're done with this deal. Barstool the Ballpark's dead. And then I'm going to have to feud with him, Imagine that. Imagine if he does shit like that, and then it's like bad for business. God. I don't want to have to hate anybody, It's like we put a new T-shirt on sale, and next thing you know, people don't want to have any fun. We're getting C and D. That shirt, it's out of here, and we can't sell it anymore, and I got to be upset about it. I don't want to be upset with Steve Cohen ever. So just leave Barstool at the Ballpark alone, okay? Please, that's all I ask.
I just imagine Steve looking at the books, and he's like in his Black Edge fucking math mind, and he's like, everything looks fine here except for like these 6 days. There's just a huge red number. And it's like, oh, the fucking idiots at Barstool, they just drink us dry for those 6 days. And that's what we bankrupted the Wilpons. Shout out, we were the ones who bankrupted them.
It's like, you guys are barely turning a profit each game, but 6 times a year you lose like $23,000. Like, I don't know what's going on here. Oh man. All right. Well, another day in the books. 2 more quickies, like 24 more to go. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Coors Light, crack your blue mountains, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for another 2 quickies and another game and another day closer to Steve Cohen really doing the damn thing. So, on a happy note, gotta believe.
Gotta believe.